Assessment Task 1, A Critical Analysis by Alana Moon. An audiobook is a recording of a book that can be listened to on many different devices and is considered to be a multimodal text as it combines two different modes, being both written and audio. Audiobooks are used as devices that enable blind students to develop their literacy skills as well as provide them with the right to participate in courses or programs, which reflects Principle 1.5 from the Disability Act. Throughout this essay as an educator, I will be critically discussing why I believe in most circumstances, audiobooks are an effective multimodal device for blind students learning literacy by comparing the Braille system against audiobooks, discussing accessibility of audiobooks and the degree in which its technology caters to blind students. I will begin by arguing that audiobooks offer a sense of convenience and simplicity in use for my blind students that the Braille system does not have. The Braille system allows blind people to touch different raised buttons that represent various letters within the alphabet so they are able to both read and write. Next, I will demonstrate how audiobooks are very accessible for my students and educational institutions in terms of price, technology, and access to information. Lastly, I will explore the degree to which technological devices that play audiobooks cater for the use of my blind students. Audiobooks are a better way to cater and develop blind students' literacy than the Braille system, as it makes use of easy-to-use technology that enables blind students to work at the same place as their classmates. As an educator, I'm always searching for methods and strategies that I can use to differentiate and provide my blind students with support and the ability to work alongside their classmates. This is a reflection of the Disability Standard 5.2 that states adjustment is necessary to ensure that students are able to participate on the same basis as a student without disability. In a research article published by Ulla and Verdia, they found that blind people within the study preferred to use audiobooks as the Braille system made it impossible for them to keep up with their classmates. Hence why audiobooks are a more preferable choice because they eliminate limitations imposed on blind people, whereas the Braille system simply adds to those. One other way I can use audiobooks over the Braille system to further support my blind students is by minimizing the amount of materials needed to learn. It was discovered in a research study carried out by Niran Alderedo that the majority of its blind participants preferred audiobooks over the Braille system, as it required the students to use a volume of materials as evident on the slide. By using audiobooks, I would be simplifying the learning process for my students, as they would not only have to carry out and maneuver through one piece of technology such as the MP3 player, computer, and/or CD, unlike the various materials needed in the Braille system. In contrast, to my opinion, some people believe, such as Hill and Tobin, that the Braille system provides blind students with a better opportunity to become employed. Although the Braille system may better support students in terms of their writing skills they require for employment, I believe audiobooks provide more assistance with students being able to read through and navigate information in a more timely manner, which is something employers would also value. Within my next paragraph, I will discuss the benefits of audiobooks, but this time on the consideration of accessibility. Audiobooks are an accessible multimodal text for educational institutions, blind students, and educators such as myself because of their low prices, ability to be played on various technological devices, and increase of information being made available. Over time, there has been an increase of devices that can be used at schools to play audiobooks for blind students. As acknowledged by Bosworth and others, these multiple platforms include computers, CDs, MP3 players, podcasts, and laptops, just to name a few. These array of devices ensure both educational institutions and teachers can provide blind students with access to such a valuable learning resource. Another way teachers can make audiobooks more obtainable is by creating their own audiobooks for blind students to use. As explained by Shane LeBolt, recording your own audiobook is a simple yet effective approach that enables teachers to personalize books to the student listening. Teachers and institutions designing and creating their own audiobooks slashes all the prices and costs associated as well. The benefits outlined from carrying out such a practice is approved of an reasonable adjustment consideration outlined by the Victorian Department of Education and Training, being the costs and benefits of maintaining the adjustment are worthy. However, it is argued by Professor Osgar and Assistant Professor Cray that audiobooks do not provide accessibility to information on a range of topics for both inside and outside of the school purposes. In response to this claim, I would argue since the article was published in 2007, technology has developed dramatically and plenty more information and audiobooks have been made available in those years. This is evident through creation of devices such as the Kindle, which one of its main functions is to provide access to a large variety of audiobooks for its customers to listen to. Technology used to listen to audiobooks is to a degree catered for the use and physical abilities blind students have. Within the 2005 Disability Standards, it is clearly articulated that course material needs to be made available to special needs students in a format that is suitable to that student's abilities and that doesn't disadvantage them. It was noted in the blog Audio Players and Talking Books that a number of players used for the audiobooks have been created with the consideration of people with vision loss. Considerations noted were the elimination of visual prompts, operation through audio cues, and only having to navigate using a distinct few keys. These design features address the guidelines stated in the disability standard through simplifying the use of these devices and removing known barriers such as visuals. I do acknowledge the brilliance of such devices, but I still believe that not enough of these technological devices consider the needs of blind people. On a web page created by Vision Aware, they discussed how wholesale players work reasonably well for people who suffer from the impairment of vision. Yet they failed to consider the lack of support these extensive commercial devices provide for those who have completely lost their sight and are of greater need for such support services. As stated in the peer-reviewed article, The Demographic of Digital Audiobooks Users, audiobooks are predominantly played on MP3 players that are not considered to be user-friendly to blind people. This is because they contain a lot of visual prompts that make it incredibly challenging for blind people to use. When consideration of the various opinions and evidence given, I believe technology such as MP3 only to a certain extent considers blind people's abilities in their design and functions. Through this critical analysis, it is evident that audiobooks can be categorized as an impressive multimodal device in terms of its accessibility and in comparison to the Braille system. This is because audiobooks use modern technology that simplifies its use for blind students in comparison to the aging Braille system, and it also allows students to read books at the same rate as their fellow classmates. It also can be considered very accessible for educational institutions and teachers in terms of its decreased costs, use on different technological devices, and variety of new information being made available. However, it must also be noted that although some of the devices used to play audiobooks take into consideration blind people's physical abilities, the majority do not, limiting access to blind people.